there's a shift now. Liberal Democrats, most of them, were always dubious about offshoring, and now finally there are some centrist Democrats or organizations that are even moving this way too. The Progressive Policy Institute, which emerged out of the Democratic Leadership Council, and some other groups are one of the issues is, should we make the research and development tax credit permanent, the R&D tax credit, and finally they've come around to what was initially a left position, that, well, only if the company agrees to manufacture what it develops in R&D here. Otherwise, we're just subsidizing the continuing offshoring of America, and thereby the continual economic decline of the majority of Americans.
It almost sounds like that's the first barest outline of some kind of industrial policy.
Well, to a degree, Obama had a kind of industrial policy that he embraced, sort of. It was in green energy, it was for solar companies, and it was for electric cars. And I visited some factories in the Midwest as part of this special report of manufacturing. One was a company that manufactures lithium-ion batteries, which is the kind of battery that goes into an electric car. They are headquartered just outside Cambridge, Mass, because this company began by commercializing this superconductive substance that an MIT professor discovered. But then when they wanted to first build batteries, they had to go to Korea because the small battery industry all left here and went to Asia with the coming of the transistor, which of course was invented here. But Sony developed the first lithium-ion battery, and no one in this country knew how to manufacture them, so they had to go to Asia. And then they went to Asia and China, and they were quite content to remain there. But then the 2009 Obama stimulus package provided them with funding, as did the state of Michigan, to build 2 factories outside Detroit, which I visited, which are these incredibly futuristic looking factories. And hiring in Detroit in the year 2010, they have got all kinds of people with 4-year college degrees on there as production workers. It's a little different than, the production work looks like something out of Woody Allen's Sleeper. I mean, they're in these climate-controlled rooms wearing surgical garbs, inspecting things, and they have a very good benefits package and all of this. The downside of this is that even in this factory, they are paying what has become the standard rate for new hires in auto, which is to say $15 an hour, which is to say $30,000 a year. In Detroit, if you're out of work, you're going to take that job. And if the market grows, the folks will do better, but it's still not, what their parents' generation was able to make and have that kind of life, and enable those of them to go to college, those of them who actually went. That's not easily done if you're making... If you and your partner, say, are each making $30,000 a year, and you're looking at college, it's pretty tough.